What's going on, Colts Nation? Today, we're going to finish up our trade conversation, at least for right now. The guys that we've been looking at where we might be able to open up some cap space, guys that are getting older that we might move away from, whatever the case may be. What we're going to talk about here is Ryan Kelly. Now, this one, not going to be quite the discussion we had about DeForest Buckner. I think this one's pretty clear cut, in my opinion. I think, this one really speaks for itself. But Ryan Kelly, his cap hit going into the 2024 season is $14.625 million. It is also the last season of his contract. Okay. And just like DeForest Buckner, he has no guaranteed money for the 2024 season. So going into this season, like if we were to trade Ryan Kelly, it'd be $12.375 million. And this is a guy that you can get a lot of value for right now. Okay. He just came off maybe the best year of his career. He was in and out of the lineup, came out a couple times with injuries, but when he was playing, he was the best center in the league. There are a lot of metrics where he was the best center or one of the best centers in the entire NFL all season long. Ryan Kelly was the best Ryan Kelly we've ever seen in 2023. So you can get a lot of value for him right now. Going into the future, that could be important, right? Do you find his replacement and be able to have him, right, a rookie center, and have him be a guy that's going to be able to develop with Anthony Richardson? And that's who we have for the next decade, obviously being on his rookie contract and not having a $14.625 million cap hit. And look, if you were to trade Ryan Kelly before June 1st, the cap savings would be $12.375 million. Okay. And when you add that to DeForest Buckner's $20.25 million, you're looking at a lot of extra money to do a lot of different stuff. Maybe you could find, a lesser player than Ryan Kelly at a little bit of a savings, right? Maybe you're not going to get everything Ryan Kelly can do and as dominant as he was in 2023, but you're also not paying as much. Maybe they go that route just for a season while they still draft a center and try to get a guy that's going to be able to develop, play in his second year, and then take off with AR. So that's an avenue that you could go if you wanted to trade Ryan Kelly. But here's where I'm at on the Ryan Kelly thing. This one's not like DeForest Buckner. I think DeForest Buckner, it's something I'm going to continue to think about is whether or not we should trade him. I think that might be a good idea for the long-term future of the team. But for Ryan Kelly, what I'm thinking is that for long-term and for right now, best thing is to keep Ryan Kelly. You have to, this comes down to Anthony Richardson, really protecting Anthony Richardson and making sure he's going to be able to do the things that he needs to do. Ryan Kelly has already played a year in Shane Steichen's system. Ryan Kelly is going to be able to point out different protections and make sure that AR is staying as protected as possible. Okay. And in the run game, he's going to maul guys. You have the combination of Ryan Kelly and Quentin Nelson. Those two guys together pretty much dominate any matchup they come across. If they're double teaming somebody, they're winning that double team. It's just going to happen, right? With what we saw in the first year in Shane Steichen's offensive line played incredible, especially the interior of that line. Ryan Kelly is the head of that. So I understand where his cap hit, his cap number is going to be $14.625 million, and you can save $12.375 million. That's the attractive part, is getting some of that money back. But also, we've talked about trading Braden Smith, and I think that is more logical than trading Ryan Kelly. With what Blake Freeland had to do this year, the experience that he was able to get, we've talked about that. Okay, we're not going to go over that whole thing. We talked about that. I think it's just better to trade Braden Smith. You're not going to get as much cap savings by trading Braden Smith, but it's pretty comparable. Okay, the only difference here, right? I mean, really, Braden Smith carries a higher cap charge, but in terms of dead money and cap savings, like if we were to trade Braden Smith before June 1st, it would be $6 million in dead money, whereas it'd be $10.683 million in cap savings. And Ryan Kelly, you trade him pre-June 1st, we end up with $2.25 million in dead money, but again, have 12.375 in savings. So it makes sense. But I just think it's too logical to keep Ryan Kelly here. Try to work out a deal that can be favorable for both sides going forward. And maybe that's a shorter deal because he's getting up there in age. But what we saw last year I think coming into this year, if Ryan Kelly continues to perform at a high level, then I think it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and pay Ryan Kelly to stay here and be a Colt for the rest of his career, right? Maybe his career goes like Jeff Saturday's and he's a Colt for all but the last year of his career or whatever. He needs to stay here for as long as possible. We need to start thinking about drafting somebody that can take over for Ryan Kelly. Maybe they do that this year, right? Keep Ryan Kelly, draft a guy this year that can learn from Ryan Kelly and can learn what he needs to do, how he needs to adjust his body, how he needs to adjust his footwork and handwork, everything he needs to do, and then can take over next year if the Colts don't want to bring back Ryan Kelly. So there are definitely options. I'd like to know what your opinion is. What would you do? Would you rather trade Ryan Kelly and save that money and go do something else? Or would you rather keep Ryan Kelly and try to figure it out with him in the future? Try to figure out the center position next offseason and make that a next year problem. You let me know down in the comment section. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking. And of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.